I am doing an energetic maintenance package for a lovely client of mine. He and I have been working together since, I think it's 2018 now. And I just love him and his soon-to-be husband. They have both been clients of mine. I absolutely adore them. We've done so many fabulous, fun things for them with magic and, you know, jobs, houses, cars, a cat, a garden, you know, all the fun things. So we're doing some energetic maintenance today for him. This is part of my new energetic maintenance package. If I sound a little bit tired right now, I am. I was up doing collective battle magic until like 4:30 in the morning, taking care of some magical fuckery for the collective. So anyways, so for this energetic maintenance package, we have a blockbuster, removing all blockages, really standing between him and his highest timeline, showing him where those blockages have been coming from and helping him to realign out of he's just been feeling kind of like creatively particularly blocked, not really sure what he wants to do moving forward with his career and a variety of things. So really just wanting to focus this on removing all perceived blockages and lack of clarity and opening up to really knowing what he wants to do and really feeling like he can do that. Here we have a road opener. This is specifically opening him up to increased financial flow, increased self-confidence, clarity in what he wants to do moving forward, really seeing himself for all of the fabulosity that he is, and opening him up to really speak his truth and really just tune into all of the things that he wants to see happen next in his life. Then we have a cord cutting. I always recommend cord cuttings with my energetic. They're part of my standard energetic maintenance package. I recommend them once a quarter to my clients. So we're just doing an all-purpose cord cutting, just removing any cords, keeping him in old cycles, keeping him from his highest timeline, anything like that, just any energetic debris. And then we have a cleansing, just clearing the energetic fields, making sure that, again, any energetic debris that he's accumulated since we did his last energetic maintenance package about 6 months ago, that's removed. And then here in the center of both trays, this is the timeline realignment portion of the energetic maintenance package. I just introduced this into my energetic maintenance packages, and this realigns the timelines that he is on with the timelines that he wants to be on, according to his highest self's planned for this incarnational experience. So if this sounds like something that you need, slide in my DMs, and I can't wait to see how this unfolds for him. Alrighty, so let's talk about the wax from this energetic maintenance package I did last night. So it burned really well. This was an interesting little portion here with the cleansing. It had all these walls around it, and then like I was trying to like see, like, 'cause sometimes I'll do a little, you know, I have like this cheese knife that's one of my Athames. Obviously, I have a cheese knife that's an Athame. It was originally a cheese knife. I had just bought it. I needed a knife real quick for some client work I was doing literally like a year ago, and it's been a magic knife ever since, so I gotta buy a new cheese knife. Anyway, so I was like, should I get the cheese knife? Like, what's going on? Do we have some little blockages here? What's happening? So it burned all the way down, and we've got this little like crack in the side of the candle. And the edges just kind of came off of the candle. And this was the cleansing portion of the energetic maintenance package. And then we see two main figures here, and then kind of like a group conglomeration of figures. I feel like this has something to do with removing the bits from familial perspectives, maybe friends, acquaintances, coworkers, whatever, right? Removing those people's limitations that have been subconsciously and unconsciously implanted into my client, and removing those really blockages on feeling like what he can do and what he can't do was what I was really getting. Was like these little bits are all the little bits, like the skin coming off the shell, the egg being cracked, as it were, of him starting to release other people's limitations and preconceived notions and allow himself to really be the creator of his life in whatever way he wants. The cord cutting was very interesting because it folded in on itself. So I feel like there are maybe some connections, and particularly this feels less like people and more like job related, environment related, atmosphere related, reality related connections, right? Like, again, old perspectives, old ways of doing things, old versions of you that you think you have to be, continuing to play out in a cycle. Those chords are sometimes some of the strongest chords that anybody can have, right? So and then it's like, what it looks like is like, it's like this, like it's folding in on itself, and then it's like these thoughts coming out. So it's like the repetitive cycles and thoughts of why he can't have XYZ, why he can't do XYZ. You know, one thing he said to me a couple of times is like, well, I want to do something else with my career, but I've only had one career. I don't know what else to do, right? And it's like, instead of letting himself really fully visualize that and dream it into being, it's like he feels like he needs to know what it is right now before he even starts. We're going to finish this in part 2. Okay, part 2 of this energetic maintenance wax report. So when you want something, you have to dream it into existence before you will ever see it on the physical plane of reality. And if you're like, well, I don't know what I want, you need to start dreaming, and you need to follow that dream and see if that's what you want. Like, over the last 2 years, I have done nothing but pretty much exclusively consistent testing with the business. I tried out every single offer that I had ever fantasized about launching, that I had ever dreamed of doing, that I ever thought would be fun, completely counter to the majority of the stuff that I had done in this brand so far, right? But giving myself that freedom, one, it showed me all the things I didn't want to do. It also has now taken me to showing me exactly what I do want to do. So you really have to have this energy and spirit, just in life, I believe, of fuck around and find out. You have to be willing to try things. You do them one time, you're like, nope, never doing that again. You try something else, you're like, nope, never doing that again. You try something else and you're like, holy shit, I can paint. Right? And so that's very much like my life motto, is a lot of fucking around and finding out. And then it always works out for me. But so many people are just afraid to let themselves even dream like, oh, what would it be like if I did this, or if I tried this, or if I did that? So they never go do it. And I feel like that's what this wax is showing, is that he's got just kind of this overabundance of, you can't do that, that'll never work, like limitation energy. There is also something to the cultural context that you are born into, raised into, and live in that will influence how much you believe you can just fuck around and find out. This client's from the UK. I've been hearing a lot lately in like the business coaching space and stuff about how, you know, people in the UK, they just don't have the outrageous level of self-belief and concept that we do, honestly, in America, that it's like been limiting a bunch of people in certain industries, you know, different entrepreneurial industries, this belief and this limitation and this like glass ceiling that exists in the UK. And I've heard this about other areas of Europe and some other places as well, where people just aren't tapped into the level of, you can dream anything and do anything and be anything and have anything that you want. You just have to have the balls to dream it into existence first, right? So I think that a lot of this too is releasing cultural programmings, cultural limitations, right? Not seeing, you know, a lot of the time people don't see other people do stuff in their environment. They don't think that they can. Let's talk about this more in part 3. Okay, so part 3 of this energetic maintenance wax report. So a lot of the time, you know, people don't see something exemplified or embodied in their reality. They've never seen anyone who's gone out, quit their job, you know, created a 6-figure business out of, you know, just whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and then lived the rest of their life happily ever after. However, the digital era and the internet has brought us to a point where we can no longer kind of say, well, I've never seen anybody do it. Even if you've never seen anyone do it in your hometown, in your geographical location, you can find people on the internet who have done exactly what I just talked about. It's me. Hi. You've met me. Or you're watching my video on the internet. So when you start to tune into, you know, really dreaming, and I think that's what this client needs the most right now, is to really tune into his dreams. He needs to find some dreams. He needs to really tune into, like, I can have what I want. I just need to dream it into existence first. That requires tuning. That requires calibration. That requires getting in. Let's get into this road opener and blockbuster. So the blockbuster, there's this interesting snakeskin shedding effect. So to remove himself from the blockages that he perceives himself as having right now, he's going to need to tune into a different version of himself. He's going to need to shed the current skin that he's in, the current limitations, the current preconceived notions, the current XYZ. And he's someone who absolutely consistently for the last 6-7 years that we've been working together has found every blockage, every limitation that he could, and just shredded it from his reality. So I have absolutely no, doubt that he'll do the exact with this. And what this is all tied to is this: it's creativity. It's all his creativity. It's all his belief in himself to create that which he desires from his life. And I think that some of these blockages also have factored in from, a few years ago. He was kind of in the process of that, and then some global factors kind of put a little bit of a damper on the progress that he was making. And when that happens, we just have to recognize that, we can just always get back on that horse, right? Not to get too Texas here. We can always just get back on that horse. That lid is always going to open one day. That limitation is always going to remove itself. That glass ceiling is going to explode, right? And then the road opener, it's very controlled right now. I'm actually going to do a part 4 just so I can talk about this. Okay, part 4, and maybe the last part of this energetic maintenance package wax report. So the roads we had done, this was part of the timeline realignment here. So the timelines they're getting aligned, but we are in the process of alchemizing and transmuting all of these things to get them fully aligned with the wax. Normally, if the timelines were aligned right now, we would see the wax weave together. We see some of the wax weave in the center, but we don't see the wax weave throughout it, right? And that is what we would normally see. Everything is very pocketed right now. It's very controlled. It's very, okay, this is over here, and this is over here, and this is over here. There's a little too much order. There needs to be a little bit more chaos, okay? Chaos is nothing to be afraid of. I'm literally chaos incarnate. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm chaos incarnate. It's magic. Magic is entering, to cast magic, you have to enter into a chaos field. It's your only option. Magic cannot function without an extremely healthy dose of chaos, and spell work and witchcraft and magic actually function in the source point field, or the 0 point field, or the source field, right? It's called both, the 0 point field or the source field. That is a chaos field of creation. You have to enter into the unknown, into the chaos field of creation, and then just let everything get messy if you want to paint anything. Okay, so we need a little bit more dreaming. We need a little bit more tuning into the chaos of those dreams. We need to stop trying to be so controlled, so figured out, so XYZ. This is how it's going to be, and this is it. And I know step Z before I, start step A. Nope, that's not how creation works. That's not how creativity works. And that's really not how life works, right? So we want to just open up to letting ourselves flow, letting ourselves be a little bit less controlled, a little bit less regimented, and let ourselves really open up into dreaming the life and the reality that we want into existence. One thing about this client, he has never come to me and said, Rose, I want this, and not gotten it. He is an amazing manifester. He is an amazingly powerful creator of reality. And every single time, what we've worked on with him to get him into that creation field and to get him into creating those dreams on the physical plane of existence has been to let himself really go there, to let himself out of those preconceived limitations. And so I'm positive that's what we're going to see again. Okay, and then the last little bit, I actually put this candle out on purpose because last night, I was going to go to bed. And this was all done. So I knew that we were going to need a little bit additional energetic reweaving. So I have this central anchor candle. It provides the fire element here. Portals function predominantly on physical location, space, and boundaries. And then the secondary source of all portal function. Spellwork's a portal, by the way. My entire thing, I've realized it's portals, which are also energetic processing systems, like the chakras. I knew that we were going to need a little bit of additional energy reweaving here, energetic concepts. Oh yeah, so the second driving factor of a portal is light, and that can be light from a candle. It can also be light from a neon sign, light from a lamp, light from a neon sign. So there are many options with how you do things, and the ways that you do things. And I like to do mine really layered. I like to use multiple light sources and all kinds of different stuff because they all have different functions and principles and purposes. So isn't my little dragon cute? I found her at Michael's and I had to get her, and she wanted to come sit on my desk for the spell work. So I'm going to be doing a little additional energy reweaving of particularly just through the soul star and third eye chakras, really opening up those upper chakras for him to dream bigger, to really tune into all of the things that he desires for his incarnational experience, and to really tune into who he is as a being, not just who he has thought he was on earth. So I'm going to be working with my soul purpose, which is the soul star tuning fork, and my third eye tuning fork with this candle. I'm going to go ahead and dispose of this wax and freeze the trays. I like to put my trays in the freezer after I do spell work because it clears them energetically for the next one. That's some little hydran fire and ice magic for you right there. But I'm going to be, while this candle's burning today, I'm just going to be doing a little bit of energy work for him. Just really tuning him into seeing the next steps, getting comfortable with getting into that messy, dreamy, chaos, magic zone of what do I want, and really just doing a little bit of extra additional energetic support for him. So anyways, if you're like, ooh, this sounds like me, I think I need this, you can get an energetic maintenance package. Slide in my DMs and we will get you hooked up.